The visual effects and animation for Extinction was quite a complex process, and the raptors in the library sequence is probably the most technically and artistically demanding scene and sequence out of all of them. And so to do it, we went back to basics and we went back to the script and we asked, what do the raptors actually have to do? It's not just a case of roaring and running. So we broke it down into these quite complicated actions. Once we'd got that brief, we were able to work as a team to start the animation process, starting with modelling.
So the modelling process began kind of with starting with an initial box mesh, moulding that box mesh with different points to pull out in different areas, but being really aware of the different angles that we were looking at it from. And then once you kind of had your initial shape, you would then take it into a texturing software called Mudbox, which you could then kind of play with all these different colours, all these different kind of imprints. It was really hard to get the details of each creature really spot on. So in a way, we kind of had to constantly look at our resource imagery.
With our animation, we would start with the keyframes of each scene. We'd work out what the big motions, the big movements, the big results would be. So if a dinosaur was jumping off something or biting someone, those would be the keyframes. And then we'd have, sometimes even frame by frame, we'd go in and we'd just change the movement, we'd get the weight right. If it was jumping off something, we'd make sure it reacted well enough to really show the weight of itself.
As a director, there's a lot to take into account when you're shooting a VFX sequence. I think perhaps the most prominent one for me was the changes in framing. Some of the differences we had to use in camera technique was we had to be locked down a lot more often than we normally would be, to make all the compositing and things in post later. So it was a real collaboration between me and the VFX team on set in order to find out where our limitations were and try and push them as far as we could to get the results that we all wanted.
So once you've got your models, your textures, your animations, and you've combined that with the stuff that you've shot on set, hopefully what you're left with is a piece of film where the viewer doesn't recognise all those individual elements, and instead they get engrossed in the story. Because that's what animation is all about, telling a story. And so I like to think that's what we've achieved with the raptors in the library sequence.
Back off. He's with me.
You came back.
Couldn't get out the door without you, mate.
Right, let's do this.
That worked.
Sorry.
Fuck off! The question is, can you do 4 more of those bad boys? Oh shit. More running.
Run! Just run!